Hello everyone, this is Darwell20, and welcome to episode 92 of Darwell20's Let's Play series, where I'm off to make some hydrofluoric acid happen. So last episode, we made a dimension full of hydrofluoric acid. Today, we're going to harvest said hydrofluoric acid, right about here. So what I'm going to need to do is claim this chunk and load it so that we can do some hydrofluoric acid fun. Now here's the plan I was going to go with. Create. So create, oh, and I made a sigil of the Green Grove for reasons. Create is cool in that there's a very special block on it, the hose pulley. And the hose pulley is interesting. If it's, it can like pump fluid out of the world or pump fluid into the world. And if the liquid that it's pumping up is a large enough resource area, it will consider it infinite and therefore will not actually drain it. This is true for lava or water, but I think it should also be true for hydrofluoric acid. I guess we're going to find out. So give me a crank, because I'm going to want to hand crank this down. Do. Don't you like crank or something? Am I doing this wrong? Maybe it has to be on this side? There we go. Cool. All right. So now it's in the fluid, and it should be telling me if I'm wearing the goggles from Create, I think. I guess I have to pipe it first. So let's do this, and then this, and then we're going to want a gear or a cogwheel. And then we're going to want electric motor. Prepped all this stuff ahead of time. Look at Dyer go. And then we're going to want our create wrench. Full speed, so it can make this stuff happen as fast as possible. And then we're going to want you to go into boop, boop, and a tank. Okay, which is, I chose light gray, 3 bands. I think that'll work. We'll find out. And that should be cool, right? So then I just give you some power. And there we go. Sweet. Now, are you considered, like, infinite? I thought it would tell me on the tooltip if it was going to consider it infinite. Ah, look at that broken texture. That's funny. I guess it was never planned for a lake of hydrofluoric acid, but it exists nonetheless. So that seems to be working just kind of cool, right? Yeah, I think so. And then you're going to fill up nice and quick with loads of hydrofluoric acid. Is it going to be enough hydrofluoric acid? I honestly don't know the answer to that question. My hope would be yes. And if not, I think more pumps could be inlined and we would be cool, but I don't actually know. Now, I was hoping that you would say something along the lines of, hey, this is infinite. And, oh, I guess it's not, because look, it is scooping it up. I was hoping this would count as infinite. Is that no longer a thing? Pump. No, not pump. I want hose pulley. That. Yeah, that's one thing. Yep, we know that. Does it no longer do the whole infinite amount thing? So I'm going to run the pulley all the way down, at least. Okay, so then it'll go down as far as this. And that should be cool. And I assume that you're going to continue to run here, right? So let's take this home and see what happens. And if it's going to be sufficient. I thought it would be infinite. I'm a little bummed that it's not, but oh well. Would you like to teleport me home at some point, buddy? Hello? Bueller? Bueller? Hello? My game crashed? Target not set? How is that even possible? That's not even a joke. I have no idea how that happened. Set? Oh, there we go. Anybody else notice that being weird? I don't know, but it suddenly fixed itself. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what happened. I'm a little afraid. But okay then. So let's re-equip you guys. Okay. You can go away, and that should be cool. Now, if we head back to our reactor area, okay, what we actually want is our rotary condensator. No, I still have one, right? Yes, I have this one. Cool. So I want you to actually sit here now, okay? And I would like you to stop for a minute. So let's have you no longer auto-ejecting gases. So what'll happen is he'll build up hydrofluoric acid, and then be done. Okay? Now for you, I'm gonna stick you right there. And then what we could do is get some mechanical pipes and boop boop. And then you are cool, okay? And then you're going to, so we already have liquid, right? How do I drain you again? I just want a new, it's probably just going to be easier for me to make a new one. So the question will be, can the pump keep up with the demands of the hydrofluoric acid, right? So on the front, and then on the back, I would like you to eject gases. So that would be output on the back. We're not inputting gases anywhere, right? So now you should be outputting gases out the back. And then you, instead of accepting, instead of red here, it should be red in the back. And then you should be allowed to accept hydrofluoric acid. Or except for gases, that is. Yeah, that. There we go. Now we're cooking. Hydrofluoric acid coming in. Cool. And then we're going to want upgrades, right? Boom, boom. And now you should be making 256. That's looking pretty good. And then how are you doing, buddy? So you're empty, but you're getting hydrofluoric acid a little bit. Are you getting enough? I don't know, actually. I put an ultimate mechanical pipe here, which was probably a mistake on my part. What I should have done should have been a basic pipe so that it would back stuff sooner. Pump rate is 250 millibuckets per tick. I think we're definitely not getting that fast, right? Can't tell if you're keeping up or not. In terms of rendering, he doesn't look like he's... Oh no, he's definitely not keeping up. So you're doing 128. Okay. So now let's see if we can get this to pump faster. And if it's not the pump from Create, there's other pumps that exist, right? Oh, look at you being all, I'm doing the thing that I didn't want to do. I wanted you to be infinite, and you are not being infinite. And you're actually not even being fast, are you? You're really not. You're not fast at all. So let's get another couple pipes. Well, I guess test number one. If I did You're not even going to connect to YouTube? Oh, there we go. There you go. Probably because they were clear, right? Yeah, I bet that was the problem. So now what are you getting here? You do look like you have some kind of net gain going on, so that's kind of cool. So that seems to have helped. I was really hoping this would be like an infinite source, and it's kind of not. Does that no longer work? Hose pulley infinite source. I have to go Google that, because hose pulley used to be able to do infinite source. I'll be right back. I figured it out, and I'm going to make this change in the pack, but if we go into mods and then create, it's actually a config option that was added relatively recently. And then fluids, bottomless fluid mode, it's usually allowed by tag. I changed it to allow all. And then save. Okay? And now we have a bottomless supply. That's what I wanted to be. I argue that that should be the way it should be configured. So I'm gonna ask for the next pack update to make that happen. Probably by the time you guys get to this, you'll see that happening. Okay, so now we have an infinite supply. All it means is I'm not gonna have to like pick this up and move it every now and then. Which, considering we know we have an infinite source, right? And by the way, the number of blocks you need is 10,000 blocks. So if you can get 10,000 blocks of a fluid in the world, it's considered an infinite supply. I consider that not a cheat, right? You know, you can disagree with me if you want. So now you should be cool, and you should be cool, and that is really kind of cool. Now, in fairness, are you good? You are good. Look at that. Look how cool that is. So now you're not using fluorite or sulfur anymore, which means sulfur can start to backlog again, and that is super cool in my opinion, right? So that's also different. I have literally never. I know for a fact I've never done a nuclear reactor in this way, right? Just saying. Did I get my first antimatter yet? Nope. We're still cruising. Yeah, that's a thing. Okay. That's cool. So it looks like we're, we definitely have some polonium here. How are you, like, breaking even on polonium? I don't really understand it. Yes? So if I turn off your limit for a sec, you'll burn through a whole lot more polonium. $6 million RF a tick to do that. Woo! That is a lot of polonium to burn through. We are really close to getting our first antimatter, though, which is kind of cool. Alright, and then turn your limit back on. Right. So we're like breaking even. How does that work? Are you actually making polonium still? Why are you making polonium over here? Maybe that's why we're working. Polonium pellets, we've got 1,000. You're not running, right? Polonium. Inverted. Didn't I, like, disable this? Redstone normal. I thought I had you set up to not do this no more. I guess that's why it's working, right? So I think we have enough polonium pellets that we don't need any more of this. So I'm going to make you also normal, which means you need a redstone signal to run, which is now going to double the rate at which polonium is going to be coming into here, right? Because we're currently jittering around that, but it's going to be 50 in a second, right? Once this back stuffs, this will be a steady 50, right? And that's going to be interesting. 58. It's higher than I would expect, but whatever. Okay. So that's why it's been taking so long. I expected to have antimatter by now, and me not having it yet surprised me. And also the fact that it was working overnight just fine also surprised me. The reason it was working overnight is because, like, this was helping to clear, and that makes sense. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. That's fine. Let's go back home now. So now we've got that. That's good, right? Like, we're done? I think we're done. Sounds like we're done. It feels like we're done. Okay. So that's cool. A dimension full of infinite yada yada. And before I forget, I'm going to go do that. Make this the pack config thing. Oh, and just before anyone asks, yes, I did check to see if uranium hexafluoride, even though there is a fluid version of liquid uranium hexafluoride, I do not see that in the, so that's not a thing I can get. And in terms of fissile fuel, I don't see an option for that either. In terms of the pumping up fluids thing. So that's a thing. Now that said, I can get nuclear waste from bees, and you can see I've had my wasted radioactive bee in the location here for a while. Radioactive bees dying to radiation has a chance to turn into wasted radioactive bees. Wasted radioactive bees don't pollinate on any flower. Instead, they absorb radiation from their surrounding. Interesting. You know, that's an option if we decide we want to get more. I'm not sure if I feel like doing that because I don't want to cause a nuclear accident again. Yeah, I'm resistant to that idea. All right, so let's clear out a lot of the to-do list stuff that we have here. So I might want to get into loot fabricator still. Look at all this stuff that I have to clean backlogging on. I don't think I need any of this anymore. Okay, so yeah, no, we're cool. We're super cool. I think that's good, right? So now we've got, you know, literally just an infinite amount of hydrofluoric acid. So we shouldn't have any problems here. And then we've basically got an infinite amount of uranium. And, you know, once we run out of uranium ingots, we'll start harvesting more. And that'll be cool, right? So that's pretty neat, right? Now you're doing the whole I'm backlogging a ton of stuff here, which is a little bit of a bummer. See, you're even starting to backlog. Where's the moon? Yeah, so we're about... Yeah, so the problem is going to be when I want to test this now before it becomes a proper problem, but my suspicion is we're basically going to need a lot of stuff here. Now, I do have an idea. I have kind of an intriguing idea. So are you clearing out the backlog? You are, and you cleared it out pretty quick nonetheless. But you've got a large amount of polonium going on. So that did clear out pretty quickly. But the problem is we're not clearing out the polonium enough. So here's an idea. What if I only ran this at night? Like, what if we got a daylight sensor? Right? Can I, like, give you your running by resin? No, I can't. That said, what I could do is make you respond to a redstone signal. Right? That's a thing, isn't it? I'm going to want you to turn off for a sec. So actually, put you back to normal, and then you're cool, and then you're good, and you're net lossing on polonium. What if I disabled bypassed limit on this guy, right? Such that you're going to drain out all the polonium that we have, right? And then if I only wanted this thing to run at night, he would probably produce all the polonium during the day, right? Can polonium go into tanks? Question that I need an answer to. Redstone signal detection. Interesting. So can polonium go into tanks? So that'll be, as soon as this thing burns out all the polonium that's in these pipes, we'll have a better answer to that question. Shouldn't be too long, I don't think. But we'll come back when this thing shuts off. Alright, status idle. So that's cool. Alright, so now you're empty, so I can break this safely. Okay. Then I'm going to place an ultimate chemical tank here. Can you... First questions first, right? So side config for gases. For now, I just want you to input from the right. Okay. So now if I turn you on, polonium cannot go into the chemical tank. I had a feeling that would be the case because I think polonium counts as radioactive. So like all other radioactive things, it can only go into a barrel. Okay. So I think if I want a really big buffer of it, what I should use is ultimate gas pipes. Okay. Now you'll notice, here's the trick with this block. If he has the tiniest amount of polonium to process, he will use the full amount of energy. We really don't want that to be the case, but that's just the way the block works. That said, if he has nothing to do, he won't use any energy, and you'll notice we're not draining any energy at all right now. So I'd like to only run this when there's stuff to process, and then stop when there's none. So if we only run it at night, then what'll happen is this thing will build up a bunch of polonium throughout the day, and then at night it'll burn through it all, and then stop. Does that sound like a kind of a plan? So if I did this, you're going to burn through all that polonium real quick. Okay? Now there's a way with this guy to make this guy redstone sensitive, right? And I think it's here. So now if you're getting a redstone signal, you should stop. Okay. So you'll produce... Okay. Redstone sensitivity. Now can I do it to this one? Yes. Excellent. Okay. So now, right, so I want you to run again. But when it's daytime, I don't want you to pump into here. Right? Okay. And I would like you to also have redstone sensitivity turned on for a sec, because I want to test something. Give me a lever. Alright, so you run. So now you should have polonium in this pipe, but it's not going anywhere. Okay? So that does not cause a nuclear incident, right? So all the polonium is still in that pipe. Cool. Okay. So now you're producing polonium, and it's all building up and storing in this 1, 2, 3 pipe. And we'll build up like 1, 2, 3, 24,000-ish. No. Capacity is 1 million, so about 3 million millibuckets. Right? A little bit more than 3 million millibuckets, which should be plenty. Okay. So now if we were to go home, sleep through the day, and then go back. So remember, it took 1 million RF a tick to process the rate of polonium that we were getting, right? So what should happen is throughout the day, we'll build up a bunch of polonium, and then at night, we'll process it 6 times faster, because we're allowing 6 million RF a tick to come in here. So it'll process really fast. 6 times faster than it would otherwise. Okay. Let me actually throw a redstone dust here, because that would be cool. And then we can kind of watch, you know, as the sun goes down, the daylight sensor stopping, right? So, like, you're continuing to make polonium because it's daytime, okay? And then once it's no longer daytime, he will... Actually, he's not running right now, because I guess it's dark enough that it's not considered bright enough, right? But the daylight sensor is still working, and that's fine. And if I wanted to, I could always move this a few blocks away and do redstone dust, but I think having it right next to it is not a problem, right? So then overnight, all the polonium that was made during the day will be processed into antimatter at a rate of 6 to 1 faster than before, and then it'll stop. And that's kind of cool, I think. I think that's a nice way to handle that problem. Does that sound like a cool way? I think it's cool. Seems smart to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. So as soon as... Yep, there we go. Boom. Now it's nighttime, and it's going to burn through all my polonium. And we'll process this way faster than we were getting it. Right? That's kind of cool. And by the way, if I got more induction stuff, could I get another elite cell and another elite provider? I don't see why not, right? And if I do that, that'll allow me to process at a rate of 12 million RF per tick. Right? Really, I just need another provider, but I figured, might as well get another cell. I think this is a more efficient way of ensuring that you process the whole polonium without wasting energy. I think. Might be wrong. I don't really know. Do I have antimatter yet? I have antimatter! Hooray! Everybody celebrate with antimatter. Yay! That's cool. We're going to play with antimatter soon. Impossible material. Create matter that shouldn't be able to exist here. Done and done. So yes, it's taking a moment to process all this polonium, but remember, we have all night. And like, I don't think it's going to be long, especially because I cut the day short, right? So, yeah, in a moment we'll process all this polonium. My inductions are still being made. I wish I could see how much is inside the tubes. I wish I could see. It used to be a part of Whala, but, you know. Hey, there we go. Now we're processing. Sweet. Okay, so that's cool. So now all I need to do is go home, sleep through the day, or sleep through the night, and then back to my reactor. Now it's daytime, so this is off, but this is on, right? And we're producing polonium. How cool is that? And then we'll burn through the backlog of nuclear waste that we accumulated overnight, right? So overnight, we will accumulate a bunch of nuclear waste, and then it'll burn through it all, and then and then that's cool, right? And then we're building up a bunch of polonium, and that's also cool. Okay. Now my induction doohickey is getting close to done. So by doing this, I'm now capable of storing that much more power, twice as much, and our output thresholds are now 13 million RF a tick, right? So now if I go back to my reactor, actually sleep through the day, or sleep through the night, okay, now it'll run 13 million RF a tick, because there's no limit on what flux networks can transfer, right? So then you, right, it's that. So like, let's simulate this by just breaking it. And your rate is 13 million RF a tick, roughly. And you're going to burn through all that polonium super quick, twice as fast as before. So I know that we'll knock out all the polonium easily, like, way fast. Cool. I like this. I think this is a really good play. I guess, you know, and if something bad happens, obviously, we have the, you know, protection stuff to prevent it from blowing up again. But yeah, that's super cool, as far as I can say. Again, I wish I could see how much is in here, but it shouldn't be long. There we go. Boom. We're draining, and then we're done. Okay. That works for me. I like that. I like that a lot. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. All right, so with that, I think I'm probably going to wrap up here. So we have infinite hydrofluoric acid, which means infinite uranium. We have infinite uranium, which means infinite fissile fuel. We've got our first antimatter. When we come back next episode, let's get, what's the armor from Mechanism called? I think it's just called the Mecha Suit, right? Yeah, buddy. So let's start doing that, and then we'll see what kind of cool upgrades go along with that. What's this? Laser dissipation? Neat. Okay. But yeah, no, there's all kinds of cool stuff to try out. So we'll see. I'm not sure if I want the Mecha Suit or if I want the pneumatic gear, but yeah, that would be cool. All right, so for now, wrapping up point. Direwolf20 sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.